Ladies and germs, dogs and cats, animals of all type, welcome today to Monkey Wrench Mayhem once again. Today's video took me somewhere where a little bit of safety equipment was needed. So sometimes safety equipment on jobs is very, very important. They can save portions of your body. They can, assist you in other ways. They can do a lot of good for you. They can save you. You can never be too safe. Wait a minute. No. No, God damn. Yeah. Oh, these are foggy. The only one that I'm going to be using today is these, because I'm going to be looking up. Anytime I'm looking up, I don't care what I'm working on, a car, up on a ceiling, I don't care what it is. I like my eyes, So in today's video that you're going to see, I was asked for a little bit of help on changing out some these smoke detectors. And because this one, no doubtedly, like all of them do, in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, suddenly you start hearing chirping. So, the natural thing to do is go out and get your batteries, put a battery in it, and see what happens. Well, the next night it does the same thing. And I've already been there and done that for this person. So, I took it upon myself to pull it down and take a look. I said, wow, look at that. This thing's from 2014. These things are usually only good for about 8 to 10 years. They're only guaranteed for that long. And I know some of you are guilty, including me, of having them inside of our home for 20 years or so. We just keep putting batteries in them. But, after a while, the element that's inside of them that detects the smoke and carbon in this case, they get dirty. A lot of oils from just everyday air quality in your home, dust, whatever that gets to them, and they don't work properly. So when you do actually have an emergency, you might have a situation where it doesn't work fast enough because they already have a certain amount of time that they will go with smoke or carbon hitting them until they decide to sound an alarm. It's to save yourself from any nuisance alarms, because a little bit of burnt toast isn't supposed to set off your alarm right away, even though sometimes it does, and it's a little annoying. But anyway, I'm going to be replacing all of them inside of this house. There are 6 of them, and the ones in the bedrooms usually aren't carbon smoke dual alarm systems. In this case, we went ahead and bought dual for every single room. These ones even speak. There's a little voice that comes out that tells you if it's smoke or carbon. Kind of nifty. Anyway, so what we're going to be replacing with is the brand is actually, they're called Kidde. This is not a product endorsement. Kidde, Kidde. They're one of the leading brands in smoke detectors, and they weren't a bad price. So from here, I think that's it for now, and we will just get into the video. Before you get started, I advise a couple of things, or a few things here. Get all your stuff ready. Get your ladders, get everything you're going to need, get your tools that you're going to need. Take all of these down first, because you're going to be turning, these are the communicating style. So there's a continuous loop, a wire that goes through this particular house, and they are powered. They are battery backup. So you're going to want to pull these things down, because once you turn off that power, the system some of these will start telling you that the power's off. So they might start a little chirp here and there. It's kind of annoying to hear a symphony of chirps as you're trying to get your job done. And if you're helping somebody, it kind of annoys them too. So anyway, pull these things down, and not all of them are the same, but in this case, we open it up, take the battery out, and you take the battery out because even when you unplug them, if the battery's not very good, it's going to chirp when you're there too. And they're also, in this case, over 10 years old, so they may make chirps on you. So do that. Take them all down. Prepare your space. Make sure everything's clear. Everything's away from the area that you need to work in. And then, of course, as I said before, very important to protect your peepers. I really enjoy having my baby gray, blue, whatever these things are, soul. So again, let's get on with it. Well, all right, to get started with, I've already taken that thing off. You just kind of give it a little twist. You know, usually it's counterclockwise to get the thing off. I took it off. I pulled all the wires out, and if you're lucky like me, you have all the correct color of wires. When they built your house, red is the communicating wire, black is your power, and white, if you know anything about electricity, is going to be your neutral. And that's what it should be in this case. If you don't have those, if you don't have the same color wires that I do here, if you didn't get that lucky, then what you do is you get your meter, you go, well, with the power on, you know, you have to turn the power out, pull all this stuff out, just be safe, I guess, you know, I guess. Between the black and the white, you'll have 120 volts. Between the black and the red, you should have nothing. Between the white and the red, you should have nothing too. So, but in this case, I happen to know that I have the correct wiring. Sorry, this is not the most flattering of positions to put the camera in. I'm going to have to look up here. You're going to get to see all my boogies and nose hairs and all that good stuff. So, so if you happen to be lucky enough to be filming yourself, maybe you have a tripod that goes way up here. Doubt it. Anyway, got to turn off the power first. And walking the mile. Walking the mile. Walking the mile. This must be the place. Breaker, breaker. Let's see. This one says Smokies. Alright. There shouldn't be any more that says Smokies, because usually only have one circuit. In this particular case, the Smokies are shared with the hall lights, something like that. But we're going to be safe and check. So, and no, I'm not going to lock it out. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, so in anybody's house, is a little trick is that if you've ever had somebody come over and paint around any kind of a fixture, anything like this, any kind of a wall switch, whatever, plug switches, sometimes they paint all the way up to it and it sticks to it. So that you don't chip everything off, you can take a razor and go around everything nice and neatly. And you're basically just cutting paint, so you're being real careful not to damage the rest of your paint, but you do something like that. However, in my situation, I happened to get very lucky. I'm going to test this when I get everything apart, but I think this, because I already have the same brand, I'm going to be probably mounting the new alarm to this same plate, and I think if I'm also even more lucky, that all the rest of them in this house are going to be the same. And I'll be able to just change. I do have to change this harness though, so that just kind of comes with this part of the territory. So, because it's not the same harness. So anyway, here we go. Yeah, you electricians out there probably caught me on that one. Gonna spin it the other direction. But on that one, it's done. For those of you who aren't electricians, whenever you put on your electrical tape, or if you're a plumber, you also your plumber's tape, your Teflon tape, you always go the way that you're going to spin the wire nut, or in a plumber, for a plumber, the fixture. You would actually, when you're looking at the pipe that you are, if you're a plumber, with the pipe that you're putting it on, you would go. Let's see, if you're looking at the pipe, into the pipe, you would be going clockwise. And me, if I'm looking at the end of the wire here, I also go clockwise. It's so that you don't loosen things when you're putting your tape on. And also, for a lot of people out there, this is just overkill. I love overkill, though. There's nothing wrong with overkill. Overkill just means things are going to work a little better, a little safer. It's just a little bit more of a hassle to get things apart when you really want it to come apart. Okay, I'm gonna start shoving this crap up here. Don't shove too hard because you don't want to break any of your wires or anything. But get that stuff up there the best we can. We take our new alarm. They come with batteries in them, and I'm gonna, God, I hate saying the word I'm gonna trust it, but this time I am, because I don't have any new batteries on me. Pulled the little piece of tape out. It gives me an alarm saying that, hey, something's working here. All right, drop that little thing on the floor where it needs to go. And let's see, this thing goes in there. Well, this thing goes in there a little different than the ones before. Looks like it goes inside like that. Yeah, this particular one goes inside. That's pretty interesting. They put a little block on there that goes over the battery door, and basically, if you don't put batteries in these things, they do not work. Oops. This one doesn't want to stay. So guess what, boys and girls? This plate must be different. Well, I'm going to check it, but I thought I was going to get away with something simple here. Let's just try it again, see if something different happens. Nope. Nope, not going to get lucky. So I got to take this plate off. So I guess I lied to you. Boy, they look exactly the same. That is something else. Oh, you know what? What they say about assuming. You make an ass out of yourself. That's not exactly how it goes. Okay, I'm going to spare you the moments in doing this part. Okay, so off camera, and I never trust myself even, I decided to put it up there again and give it a little harder of a twist. I guess it gets to a point where it stops, and then you hear it kind of little geary kind of things in there that lock it into place. So that's what that is. And once you have it in place and you can take this dust cover off, they'd say that on the directions. And I do recommend a lot of different things. You want to read the directions and everything. Some stuff it's kind of stupid reading in directions, but in these cases, you find out things like they actually recommend very particular batteries. You're not supposed to use lithium in these. Never ever use lithium. For some reason, they really want you to use Energizer. Maybe they were paid, but well, go with what they say. It's usually best, usually safest. So now, on to the next one, and since I showed you how to do that one, the rest of them I might not have to do so much instruction. I'm going to spare you the rest of the time here because, you know, there's several more to do. But now you get to see me do one where I didn't have to change out the base plate, and you saw me do one where I did have to change out the base plate. It's because some of these that are currently in this house are still just smoke detectors. So as I think I said at the beginning, I'm changing these over to, you know, all smoke and carbon. So that's it for that one, y'all.